This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Chris Wragge. Good morning. A developing story on Long Island. The desperate search underway right now in the waters off of Long Beach, where rescue crews are looking for a missing swimmer. They're searching for a 31-year-old man who was last seen in the water around 2 o'clock this morning. Also in Long Beach, police say a boy's body pulled from the water yesterday is the missing 10-year-old. Ramel McCray Jr. of Hempstead, seen here on the left. He went swimming with his brother near Ocean Beach Park off of Edwards Boulevard last Tuesday. Ramel was swept away by the riptide. No lifeguards were on duty at the time. Happening today, a suspect faces arraignment in the stabbing murder of a Bronx teenager. At least 5 people were taken into custody following the attack at a bodega last Wednesday. CBS2's Natalie Duddridge has more from the Belmont section.
Screaming out justice for Junior as one of the suspects in the brutal murder of a Belmont teen is walked out of the 48th Precinct Station House in Tremont. 19-year-old Kevin Alvarez is charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and gang assault. It was cheers and relief in the neighborhood where 15-year-old Lisandro Guzman Files, known as Junior, was killed, as word quickly spread that 5 people were arrested in his brutal stabbing death.
Thank God they catch him. They have to pay what they did with my son. My son was innocent.
Around 5 o'clock Sunday, another man was taken into custody in Paterson, New Jersey. In total, police have picked up 5 men who investigators say are all gang members.
They were arrested some dude. Had a shirt off. He wasn't running. They grabbed him and put the cuffs on him.
But police say Guzman Files was not affiliated with any gang. They have been searching for his killer since Wednesday, when they say the men dragged the teen out of a bodega on Bathgate Avenue and East 183rd Street, then stabbed him repeatedly. Cell phone video shows him running 1 block to St. Barnabas Hospital, where he died.
I won't gonna have my son never. This is my little angel.
His family says Junior had big dreams of one day joining the NYPD. Many are calling his murder a case of mistaken identity. A relative who didn't want to show his face on camera says a gang member sent an apology on Snapchat.
They were just saying the messages that it wasn't for Junior. It was somebody else, but they confused him. And they said sorry, they apologized, and they sent the condolence, but it wasn't for them. But he's gone. That doesn't change anything.
Police tell us this is still an active investigation, and they have been thanking the community for their ongoing tips. In Belmont, Natalie Duddridge, CBS 2 News.
The city will have just 1 more month to keep using speed cameras in your schools. Advocates of the cameras held a rally yesterday. They demanded the state Senate pass legislation so the city can keep existing cameras and allow for the purchase of additional ones. A bill passed by the Assembly, but the Senate left for summer break before tackling the issue. Now, the only way to approve the measure would be to convene a special session.
This one's a no-brainer. The Republican majority in the state Senate had a simple job to do, and they didn't do it. The only people who should fear speed cameras are people who are speeding.
Republicans unveiled an alternative plan over the weekend that would eliminate cameras at the end of the year and calls for installing stop signs or red lights at every school intersection. Police say no charges will be filed in a Brooklyn hit and run that left a little girl dead. Investigators say the 4-year-old was riding a pink scooter on the sidewalk on Hart Street in Bushwick yesterday when her shoe fell off. Her mother then bent down to put it back on, and that's when police say a woman driving a black SUV was backing out of a laundromat parking spot, didn't see the child or her mother, and ran them both over before driving off. Officers caught up with that driver 2 blocks away.
My heart is broke.
The way things are set up here, this is going to happen again.
Yeah, people from the neighborhood say they've complained about the laundromat parking lot before. Cars have no driveway access to the street, forcing people to drive onto the sidewalk to park. The Department of Transportation says it will look at any possible safety enhancements in the area. Happening now, a public hearing on the controversial Rockaway Beach closures. Last month, we told you, just days before the beaches were due to officially open, the City Parks Department announced part of the beach would be closed. The agency cited severe erosion and safety concerns, but businesses along that stretch of sand say the closures deal a devastating blow to business. Today's hearing is being held in Lower Manhattan. And a happy update to a story we told you about last week. We told you about Liar Dervishai, a 6-year-old dealing with a rare form of dwarfism. His mother paid $1,400 for a teacup puppy to keep him company during his many medical treatments. But she says she got scammed and never got the dog. Well, we have an outpouring of support after the story aired, and here's the result. Little Lear got a new friend thanks to Shake a Paw in Greenbrook, New Jersey. He's about to have another surgery, but now he has someone to keep him company. So he is extremely happy right now. We are happy to see that that's worked out. Let's get over to John Elliott now with your forecast. John?
What a story.
Yeah.
So many facets to that story. All right, our weather story also is a happy one. Look at that beautiful view for you. Gorgeous. 11 o'clock observation out of the park, 76 degrees. Not trombones, degrees. Now, if it were trombones, it'd be a lot louder. Our numbers around the area, 68 to 77. These numbers compared to yesterday, it's actually a little cooler for most reporting stations west. And here's the good news. Here's the fine print. You've got these dew points that are lower. So, oh, I'm sorry, they're adjusting the camera. There's less humidity in the air, so it feels great. 82 is the normal high. That's exactly where we are supposed to be. Enjoy it. You know, you scan the skies, you've got nice big ridge of high pressure in control. So it's going to sit around today and tomorrow. Shouldn't say sit around, then it sounds like it's lazy. It's going to be windy today. So remember, you got that coming in. Great tomorrow. Wednesday, more humidity, and then those storms in the works Thursday. And then the big heat headed your way Friday into the weekend. Hey, going to the beach today, moderate rip current risk. Just make sure you play it safe. Chris?
Okay, John, thanks so much. A dangerous and fast-moving wildfire is out of control in Northern California. The Pawnee Fire is just 20 miles from where a deadly fire devastated the state's wine country last year. It's more than quadrupled in size on Sunday, and hundreds of buildings are at risk. Mark Strassman is in Clear Lake Oaks near one evacuated community.
The Pawnee Fire burned through the night. Fierce winds have pushed the flames through thousands of acres of dry Northern California brush since Saturday.
As you can see behind me, it's still burning actively up in these mountains. It's just a combination of these dry fuels, the steep topography, and now these winds on top of it. This is changing extremely quickly. It's still 0% contained.
At least 10 homes have burned. Authorities have ordered the evacuations in the nearby community of Spring Valley, where firefighters worked furiously to protect structures, but some were still reduced to ash. Evacuees know the worst might not be over yet.
It's been very difficult, 24 hours, not to know if your animals are okay, or your house is okay, or your neighbors are okay.
Rugged terrain has proved challenging for firefighters as they try to protect homes.
Air tankers were dropping thousands of gallons of retardant. Helicopters were dropping hundreds of gallons of water, all in an effort to slow the progress around these structures and to really coordinate with the crews on the ground.
For many living in this area, responding to wildfires has become a devastating part of everyday life.
I've been evacuated 6 times the last 5 years. This is nothing new, but this is the closest one.
Another major fire is burning roughly 80 miles to the northeast. The so-called Lane Fire has also forced evacuations as it charred around 3,000 acres, threatening hundreds of structures there.
To give you a sense of this fire's heat, this is actually melted aluminum that came from the rims of the wheels of this vehicle. Firefighters here are catching a break. Winds are expected to die down both today and through the middle of the week. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Clear Lake Oaks, California.
A consumer alert for Apple computer owners. The company is promising free repairs for faulty MacBook keyboards. It follows waves of complaints about the keyboards failing to work properly. The company said it determined that a small percentage of keyboards may have misfiring keys. Laptops eligible for free service include certain 12 to 15-inch MacBook and MacBook Pro laptops made between early 2015 and 2017.
And the kangaroo is on the field of play again.
Oh, my God.
And racing across the field of play, scattering players left and right.
So much faster than the players on the field, too. A kangaroo jumps into the action during a match between two semi-professional women's teams in where else but Australia. It got to show off its jumping ability for about 30 minutes. Then the Roo needed a rest, took a little bit of a break, lying down on the penalty spot. A coach in a pickup truck eventually chased the Roo through a break in the fence, and as they say, the rest is history. That is your CBS 2 News Update. Join us for a moment on Facebook for a live Aftercast. Until then, have a great day.